it's ups and downs and encouragements and don't give up. And so where are you personally? I mean, I do sense that you're full of energy and super gung-ho and on your way, but where's the part I can help you with? I mean, I can stand back in awe and go, wow.
I think the emotional part for me is that little piece, what I actually wrote about for the blog that I wrote for you, is that self-worth. That self-worth. There's like that little voice in the head that still is saying, you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough. And which really is not serving me. And I know that's what I want help with.
Great, great. Well, first of all, again, thank you for being that vulnerable.
I mean, it's crazy. How can I not be doing enough? I mean, that's what people say to me, what are you talking about? You're not doing enough.
So that voice is I did a different teaching earlier about the voices in my head about doing this show. The voice in my head, you're not ready. And for me, good enough means I'm spiritually enlightened. And I love to be able to come to my audiences like I am a guru and here is my wisdom. And you know what? Parts of me are up there, but parts of me are still down here. And I'm in all these different places. And so are you. You're super powerful. And you're like, I'm not doing enough. So those are the...
And then I get back into my little girl. I get into the little girl who sits in the corner saying she wasn't enough and she didn't do enough. Exactly. You know, that there was a big struggle there with my family when my parents divorced at a young age. I really took on the responsibility of thinking that nobody ever said it was my responsibility, but I thought if I just kept my room clean, if I would have just done better in school, if I just didn't mouth back to them, if I just, and it just became this addiction that I had to get over, which was people pleasing. And I mean, it became like, and that's how I ended up getting sick. I ended up getting cervical cancer, and I'm a survivor. I've survived it, and I healed myself completely through all natural, and I'm completely well. Everything is, my doctor says I'm a miracle. So, but yes, and I am, and I know that I'm, I get to be a voice for the people who are struggling with that at this time. But
and
then
here's the wonderful thing is that
there is that little girl in me. You see this powerful woman, and then you see this little girl, and then other people see that little girl, and they like that innocence about me, and people, resonate with different aspects of me. Certain people really resonate with my story, of my victim story, because I've turned my wounds to wisdom.
But here's the question. I've got many, many questions. But first I wanted to say, you got ill, and that gave you a lot of awareness. And what's really wonderful about what you're doing now is that you can gain more awareness by going within and doing this work without the need to get ill. So this is really good and really important that you're on a different level now where you don't need an illness to grab you by the throat and go pay attention to this, but you're paying attention to it. You're volunteering to come forward and say, I want to heal this.
And I'm just so loving the Daily Om process. I'm really loving your course on the Daily Om process. It's funny because the other day I was just realizing I've been, really taking better care of myself. And I haven't been feeling guilty about it. I've been feeling really good about giving myself self-care and filling up my self-care tank. And I don't feel as depleted when I can do so much. I feel like I'm really balancing the giving and receiving.
Yes, that's wonderful, and thank you so much. You're talking about 9 self-love keys to change your life, which is a course on the Daily Om, and everybody should run out and sign up because it is really, really a fun, amazing course. The other day, I'm going to just show off for a minute. It was on top. It was leading Deepak Chopra's course, so it was higher ranked. I wish I had taken a screenshot, but anyway, it was really kind of fun for me to see that, and I'm glad people are jumping in into self-love because it is so important. But there's a couple of things that I want to suggest. That one is that you said some people love the little girl some people love, the powerhouse woman, and just to suggest in general to separate from what other people think. Even though, of course, you're trying to reach out and gain supporters, and so it's a kind of a paradox because you need people and you want people in your life, and you're a people person, obviously, and that's wonderful. And this doesn't take away from that, not one bit. But what it's going to do is free you from that. Gee, what should I present? What part of me are people going to respond to? And I'm a cute little girl. I'm a powerful woman. What role should I play here?
Who should I be? Who the hell should I be right now?
Exactly.
What should I be doing? Do I need a bright red dress? What do I need? You know, it's so funny. The stuff that goes on in your head, you know, is, you know, because I just got nominated for a TEDx talk. And, you know, I got the message that it was not, that I was nominated. And so, of course, I got very excited about that. Then it was like, well, what am I going to wear for that, you know? And then it was that same thing. It's like, I'm not ready for that. And then I said, no, universe, I cancel clear that. I cancel clear. I am ready for this.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm not going to self-sabotage. And
right. You're ready where you are. And I think this is the huge step that a lot of us are taking. I think it must be the time of the planets or whatever, but we have to be ready as we are. And what that asks of us is radical self-love.
Yeah,
because
and kicking that people-pleasing and that perfectionism to the curb. That's what I'm really all about now. That's where I'm really starting to, as I step into this ideal vision that I have created for myself, I know that I can choose to kick that people-pleasing and perfectionism to the curb, and that's why I'm on the show. That's why I'm here.
Right. And I think we're totally dealing with it head on here, because what I find,
to cry because I'm scared, like saying it out loud.
Yes, it's so scary. I cannot tell you.
I don't know why I want to cry.
Well, it's because
it still has that fear.
Right, right. And can you accept that part of yourself?
Yeah.
See, that's the love right there. That's part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Other people love that part of you, but do you love that part of you?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know.
Right, and you know what?
Sometimes I feel like I'm afraid to show that part of me, because I'm afraid that if people see that weak part of me, then I go back to being that little girl who was abused, you know? And I'm not that little girl anymore. I'll never be her again. No,
you'll never be, and there's such a difference.
And I don't want any child ever to experience it. That's why I'm so passionate. I don't want any dog or cat or person or child to ever experience what I went through, and that's why I'm so passionate about it.
I get it. And what you're doing for the bottom line, and it's so funny because this is such a big part of your message, but it's the part that you need to give to yourself, because the bottom line is what you're trying to give to every dog and hurt child out there is what you need to give to yourself. You know, when we see it in a dog, it's because we know it, we recognize it.
They've explained it to me. They've taught me. That's why I'm there. That's why they chose me as their messenger.
Oh, right.
And it's a big responsibility. I sometimes say, wow, it's just so big. Why me?
Well, here's the thing to remember is there's total freedom of choice.
Yes.
You're free. You're free, and you know what? You're good enough whether you do this work or not.
Thank you.
It's a choice.
Thank you.
It's an opportunity. It's not a demand.
Yeah.
So you can step into it, and I think that's glorious.
I love that. You know, I love that it's not a need. It's an opportunity.
To see the rest of this episode, click on the link below the video now. You'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Click on the link below the video now to see the rest of this epic episode.